What's up, guys? How's everyone doing today? What did we just watch? Jesus. Dana White Contender Series, dot, 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 a condomless whore house. That's all I'm going to say. The boys in the Discord know what I'm talking about. Alex Apodaca, biggest favorite, biggest underdog in Dana White Contender Series history. She just beat Frank Mir's daughter, who was supposed to be like the next Ronda Rousey. Absolutely insane. Shout out to some of our boys in the Discord. No Limit, he goes by No Limit in our Discord, won $9,000. Absolutely insane. The boys flooded Alex Apodaca's DMs already. Her Instagram has gone from like literally in like 20 minutes. It went from like 2,000 to like 10,000 people. But that's MMA. We'll talk about that. This is about what's going down in about 6 hours. The Aussie card, guys. Yes, our third one in 4 weeks. Yes, the Aussie card. No Limit has been feeding us, feeding families. Provide us one more time. Give it to us one more time. I need you guys. I've been talking about it for the last 2 weeks. The Aussies would call it a fortnight. I've been talking about it for the last fortnight. That's how horrible. That's my English accent. Perhaps it should have been a little bit longer. The last fortnight, I've been talking about it all. Awful, horrible. I'm not an accent guy. But Teofimo Lopez money line, Nikita 50, Kira money line. I will be going into 20. Everything will be set up for 2027 regarding my bankroll. So fingers crossed. We know Teo did his job. And the boots have been dug in, boys. You guys are some of you boys in the Discord getting all scary. You guys are gatekeeping the odds. Why are these odds changing? I'm like, don't talk to me. Like, I don't want to talk to you. If your bets aren't in yet, and I know some of you boys work and not everybody is putting their bets in. Yeah, I get all of it. I'm not lacking empathy. I'm just stating my claim. In our Discord, don't at me 5 hours before fight and ask me, are you comfortable with this pick? I'm like, bitch, what are you talking about? I gave you my ticket like 6 days ago. I can't wait. I might even get it's midweek. It's 11:30 here in Sydney, Australia, Wednesday, August 26th. I got like I think I got like 4 different tickets for the Aussie card, but one major one. The other 3 are just fun props. I like Nikita Tszyu on points. I like Callum on by knockout. I like Kira's opponent is freaking horrible. Jesus Christ, Kira Rustin's opponent's so terrible. Shout out to Sandra Simmons for getting his flights paid for him and flying to Australia. But if you're in our Discord, you would see the tape. We shared all of his fight tape, where he comes from. He's a Bermuda. He's a Bermuda guy. He's a Bermuda guy. The international powerhouse of Bermuda boxing, and people in the Discord. He's live. He's live, and I was like, hold on. So I had to do a little bit of a deep dive. This all went down yesterday, and I shared you guys his footage, who he's been fighting, how he punches. Kira Rustin is going to destroy him. So that's all I'm going to say. Peters, feel good about Callum. I feel good, man. And you guys know me. I absolutely hate feeling good going into a card. I don't like feeling this comfortable going into a card. I'm usually super stressed all the time because, nobody knows what's going to happen and there's no such thing as locks in this game. But that being said, I'm like too comfortable. I might get you know what? I might go. It's 11:30 a.m. here in Sydney, Wednesday, August 26th. I'm done for the day. My first client was 5 a.m. I started the day with a 5 a.m., a 6 a.m., and a 7 a.m. I uploaded my breakdown on Moses Ituama and Filip Hrgovic. That's on the channel. Watch that. Comment in the comment section. Tell me who you like. Leave a prop bet option. Corey Marksman breakdown versus Beretta is up on the channel. Comment in the comment section, especially you insiders. Come on, boys. Don't just support me like you do and just leave it at that. Come on, support our community. Just comment in those Stats Don't Lie videos for me. And then the Nikita Tszyu. Because it's those Stats Don't Lie videos I put a lot of effort into. You could see. Look at the quality. Look at the quality of the breakdowns. You know what I'm saying? I'm using like I shot 2 documentaries. I talked about this before, and they're on my channel that were in film festivals. And the recording equipment that I used to shoot my boxing breakdowns, I used that equipment. The least you could do is comment. Hey Johnny, I like so and so in this. Just comment for me. It helps with the traction. Those videos before I started doing gambling content, those videos used to get 10 to 50,000 views. This is crazy, right? So I'm gonna. I know why my views went down because YouTube, the algorithm doesn't promote betting and gambling, and so you could look at all of the Stats Don't Lie videos from before August of 2025. You know, my Terrence Crawford breakdown with Madrimov had like 80,000 views. Like I would average, like I said, between 5 and 50,000 views. Now my Stats Don't Lie videos get like 1,000. And I'm like, what the hell happened? But my community is bigger, and the live streams are way bigger, and our community. And I looked into this, and it's because they don't like gambling content. So I don't care. I don't care about views. I care about our community. I like the gambling content. I like the analysis. I like the breakdown. So the least you can do is comment and say, "Hey, I agree with you," or I disagree with you. So if you're not in our Discord, the link will stay pinned. We've got like this whole week's been crazy. We got 10. We're getting like 10 a day now. So if you're new to the Patreon and you join on Patreon and you're watching this, or if you're new to the YouTube channel member section and you're watching this and you don't have the Discord link, DM me on Patreon or email me at johnnystofco@icloud.com and I'll get you the link. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to catch up to the chat 7 minutes in. Mike from Melbourne. Hey, Johnny, props have dropped for Max Reeves and Cohen. From what I've seen, Reeves is very patient, not the most consequential puncher. Can't trust a KO. Thoughts on Cohen props? I'll have a look. Holy Moses Apodaca. Don't say it. I had to say it. What's up, brother? Apodaca. So these early comments are what we just watched on the Dana White Contender Series. C less W House got me bad. C less W House got me bad. C less. Oh. That's hilarious. Bro, if it wasn't such an inside joke, that's a t-shirt. C less W House. That's so funny. Vegas moneyline KO instead of moneyline. Yeah, I like my biggest hesitation with Vegas Larfield is nothing to do with this matchup. It's more of a career trajectory, and I talked about it yesterday. Vegas on the money line, I have play on that, and then Kira knockout. Yeah, Kira's stopping this dude, mate. What's your read for Jordan White? Haven't looked into it yet. Short Dog, he's a fan favorite. Good nickname. For all you young boxers out there or coaches or amateurs who maybe want to take a go at becoming a pro, never underestimate or undervalue the importance of marketing and a nickname. Short Dog. I know Jordan is Short Dog. He's at plus money, man. Short Dog might be my dog. I don't know yet. I want to get through Australia first, okay? And then I could focus a lot more of my betting energy on all the fight cards that are happening after tonight. But it's on my radar. Is there an injury to Max Reeves? Oh yeah, you guys no, there's no injury. I saw you guys getting scary in the Discord. The odds are dropping off because Max Reeves is a 26-year-old Queenslander fighting at home. Super, super hyped up prospect before he got stopped against Tonga. He's only 26. He's fighting a kid who's absolutely awful. So I don't care about even if the odds flipped, Max Reeves is not losing to Firth. Trust me on that. So I don't know if it has a lot to do with Max not looking great in his last few performances. He's coming off a split decision win. He's coming off a unanimous decision win. And this is a feeder fight. They're giving him a kid with an undefeated record who's never fought a kid with a winning record, who's slow, lethargic, has no pedigree to him. Max Reeves is going to have an opportunity to get back on the winning track in a electric sort of way. So I assume money coming in on Firth is probably from guys who don't know the Australian domestic scene, or just guys who like to bet dogs. Because you see that, um, you know, if you're in our Discord, you'll know that we have guys who make a living off of betting dogs or live odds. We just saw that 20 minutes ago. Shout out to No Limit. There's no way Firth beats Max Reeves. Good day, lads. Glad I forgot to contend. Yeah, dude, the contender. Look, yeah, don't bet on the contender unless you're doing it with happiness. Bellamir got beat up. Yeah, dude. What's up, boys? Salute. Great start to the week. You boy, yeah, Johnny Mags here beat all the boys to the punch. How were you already friends with her on Instagram, by the way? Like you were because you were already friends with her on Instagram. When I added her, you can't DM somebody because I was just gonna DM some of our winning tickets from our chat. I was gonna be like, hey, our community says thank you from like a gracious perspective, but my boy Johnny Mags was already in the DMs. You guys are crazy. Johnny bet his house on Raleigh. No, I didn't actually. Hopefully you didn't either, bro. Toronto Raptors, dude. Vince Carter, baby. I remember when VC got drafted to Toronto. Nike, I think it was Nike, did a 2-minute commercial called "The Air Up There," and every time I see the Toronto this Raptor logo, I think of VC and T Mac. Actually, T Mac boy, let's go. Dylan Biggs is fighting this weekend. No, he's not. He's fighting next weekend. Who was that? Samuel. Samuel. Dylan. Are you? Now you got me tripping. No, Dylan's fighting the following weekend. Yeah, it's just Nikita's fighting this weekend. Common opponent. Hit the barium tip and rolling it. Hit the barium tip and rolling onto Reeves. What was the barium tip? We should just have that's kind of a new betting. The barium, hit the barium tip and rolling it onto Reeves moneyline, Vegas moneyline, 50 Cal and Kira. What did he do for you? Is anyone else's stream lagging? Is this fight worth staying up for? What up, Adam? How you doing? You think this Nikita fight going to be entertaining? Look, it's going to come down to what Ben Mahoney is going to choose to do. Ben's a good boxer, lifelong combat sports athlete, a wealth of experience, undefeated 31-year-old getting an opportunity to fight in an IBF title eliminator in his backyard, doesn't know how to lose. He's skilled, he's technical, he's going to be bigger than Nikita. He has a higher fight IQ than Nikita. I don't assume Ben to entertain Nikita in too many 50-50 exchanges, meaning I go, you go, or let's hook with the hooker sort of thing if you're new to this, punching with a puncher. So he will want to feel Nikita's power early on to kind of gauge he's at his best controlling distance, controlling tempo. He's going to use his jab. He has good timing on his backhand, but he has a versatile punch selection. I said this all week. I'm playing Nikita Tszyu on points based off of hopefully Ben Monty's team watching Nikita struggling with Danilo Creati. Danilo took Nikita the distance on like 10 days notice, and Danilo was a surfer. He was a lifeguard at Bondi Beach. And then shout out to Tony Del Vecchio. Del Vecchio, he's an Italian. He came with a boxing experience, but he literally was being a lifeguard in Bondi when he fought Nikita a couple years ago. And that's not the same Nikita. Nikita has leveled up, obviously, and I rate Nikita, but we got to kind of pump the brakes a bit in terms of like heralding Nikita as this one-punch knockout marauder who's just steamrolling through everybody. So they do have a common opponent who's actually fighting on the card. They both fought Cohen Mazudair, and Ben drew with Cohen, and Nikita was in a 50-50 with Cohen up until the 9th. And then when Nikita got Cohen out of there. So Cohen is the same kid who was supposed to fight Charlo, but Charlo didn't get his visa sorted, and Cohen is in a good spot to look good tonight as well. So I like Cohen a lot tonight as well. Now, back to the Nikita Ben. If it goes my way, if the fight goes my way, it'll be a boring fight. It'll be attacked. I don't think, in the last, we'll say, few years of me watching every single fight, I don't, and this isn't supposed to sound like, I don't really think any fight is boring. So any fight I've watched, there's nothing boring about fighting. So a handful. William Skull, Canelo was boring, but you guys called Shakur versus De Los Santos boring, and I like that fight. So like I've watched that fight multiple times. I don't think that's a boring fight at all. I think that is a defensive-minded savant who is negating an aggressive puncher's offense with his slickness, tactics, feints, speed, reflexes, footwork, timing. But you guys might call that boring. Tonight could be boring in your eyes. I hope it is. I hope Ben gets Nikita's respect with his jab, which he can. The thing is, Ben didn't look great against Dan Hill, right? That was Ben's last fight. And you can't really take much of Nikita's most recent performances against Oscar Diaz and our boy, Mick. But if you guys are thinking that Ben is just going to come in tonight and get rolled over, you don't know who he is. You must not know about who he is. At 30, this kid was fighting boxing since he was 12. Was a pro in multiple combat sports and was successful as a Muay Thai fighter, over 40 Muay Thai fights. And it just shows you that he knows how to operate in a ring. He's comfortable there. He should be able to survive. I don't see him getting stopped in his backyard. It is really, 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 really hard for me to see him getting stopped in Queensland against Nikita. So we'll see. My most confident bet is Kira by knockout. Like my most... That's the one. Like when you tape Nikita and Ben, I actually could see, and I'll be screwed if this happens, I could see a path to victory for Ben. I can. He's the better boxer. He has more skills than Nikita, but Nikita's the faster kid, the more explosive kid, has more power. Obviously, the intangibles, more twitchy, more upside. He's trending, but in terms of a skill set of like knowing how to control range, knowing how to set punches up, versatility of punches, knowing how to punch in empty spaces, knowing how to use the ring, knowing how to set trap. Ben does all of that. Nikita doesn't do all that. So there is a path where Ben could win on points. I hope that doesn't happen. That's not my prediction, but I don't see a path for Simmons to even be competitive with Kira Rustin. I think Kira is gonna walk straight through that dude. What's up, Billy? Hey, beast mode doesn't stop no matter what. King, baby, king. So what we're gonna do, what we're gonna do to this kid? We're gonna put this guy in timeout. I just learned how to do that. So it's just so everyone knows. We put Raptor in timeout because he's been bad, and when he apologizes to our community, he'll be allowed out. We don't do trolls here. Does Cohen win? Yes. I got Kira knockout, Peters knockout. This is what I'm playing. Habuchi. Okay, let's see what that pays right now. So these are the current odds. Max Reeves is $1. This is crazy. This is crazy. There's money coming in on Oliver Firth, guys, which is absolutely insane. All right, so why aren't they showing the odds flux? These odds of debt. Is your book, because my book right now is showing two different odds. The Max Reeves original line at $1.17, but then Sportsbet is showing $1.37. So that is a big that's a big fluctuation, but the chart on the right isn't showing it. So Reeves is just, in terms of like why this fight is made, his skill set, his background, just who's the better fighter. Max Reeves, if you could get Reeves at 37%, man, I'd be smashing that all day. That's crazy. I got him at 11%. Vegas Larfield, yes, money line. Brandon, this is the one I'm not touching. Brandon should be able to knock out Ike Pluto. They fought on the Tszyu Errol Spence Jr. undercard a couple weeks ago, and they both took that fight on 10 hours notice. Neither one had a camp. Brandon Gratch with a camp is a different fighter. He's never going to be a world champion. He's a solid domestic Aussie heavyweight. He has a knockout win over my boy Liam Talava'a, and then in the rematch, Liam knocked him out. He's just one of these sort of guys. But Ike Pluto isn't a puncher. He's a guy who's gone from heavyweight. I think I've seen Ike take fights before at not middleweight. Definitely, I think I saw Ike take a fight at super middleweight before. So he's just one of these guys. He's a rapper. He has a social media following. He goes by Ike from Pluto. Brandon Gratch is a guy who got recommitted to the fight game in his early 30s. He's a Newcastle boy. He's promoted and managed by Glenn Jennings, the same Glenn who managed Costa career and Timmy and Nikita's career, but more, Nikita now, not so much Tim, since Tim left the whole team. But Gratch, they wanted this rematch to show more of themselves. But I'm not betting on this fight. And the Vegas Larfield fight is only a 6-rounder as well, boys. So just, if you're new to the betting game, keep those things in mind. My biggest bets are, I told you, Callum, Kira, Nikita. So if you take Cohen, Kira, I just want to see what these are paying right now. Kira, damn, the Callum odds suck now. I got Nikita at 27%. He's down to 16%. And then Callum, I got him at 115. Yeah, so those odds are shifty. I'm not sure. Like, I know people get scary about their, are you calm down? Is it safe? Nothing's safe. If you're going to be scared about your money, don't bet. Trust me. If you're about to make a bet and you're scared, you shouldn't be betting, dude. You shouldn't be betting. I don't want that energy in our group anyway. Keep that shit away from me. Artavius Ingram and Travius Ingram. Alex Bray. Alex Bray's a 21-year-old kid. Hasn't really, this would be his toughest opponent. Dude, Travius Ingram is a big, sneaky, dangerous southpaw who's been in there with real guys. I like Ingram here. I know Ingram's the dog. This isn't my official pick, but I've had my eyes on this. I have my eyes on short dog at plus money, and I have my eyes on Ingram at plus money. Yeah, short dog here is plus 260. I need to watch a little bit more of Torres. Maybe the fight's not. I don't see it on my books anymore. Well, yeah, I'm not getting the odds on my book, but I was told that Ingram is the underdog, and if I can bet that, I'll let you know. I've had my eyes on the Ingram versus Bray fight. I like Ingram, but that's not my official pick. You want to come on, bro? TJ? Anybody want to come on? All right, I'm going to, because the chat's going crazy and there's over 100 of you guys in here, if you're not an insider or a VIP, I can't answer your questions right now. I got to go to the boys. Seeing a lot of action on Max Reeves' opponent and analysis of that fight. Yeah, Max Reeves is going to beat him. Barry tipped Galante money line. What is that? I don't know what that means. Oh, is Barium doing MMA breakdowns now? I love it. I didn't know that. I thought Barium was a boxing guy. Christos, this is our MMA guy. So you're telling me you boys talked Barium boxing into doing MMA breakdowns? Kudos, because Barium's a beast. He's doing DWCS breakdowns. It's crazy. What's up, Christos? Beast. Christos likes the stoppage. I can see it. I can see a world because, Dan Hill's pressure was kind of getting to Mahoney. I can see a world where, but the thing is, for that to happen, I'm not saying this is why you played the TKO, but in my eyes, the only way Ben or Nikita gets the TKO would be Mahoney on his back foot, getting caught up against the ropes, not returning punches and, kind of fading in terms of his gas tank. But that would then require Nikita to change his game plan. Nikita doesn't, people were trying to compare Nikita Tszyu to Dan Hill. They're obviously on two different levels, and Dan Hill's fight style against Ben isn't how Nikita fights. Nikita isn't going to throw that much volume. He's not just going to run in the front door without throwing a jab. He's not just going to try to bully you the entire time. He's more patient than people think. Like, I think people don't realize, like, Nikita, he doesn't throw a lot. He doesn't throw a lot of volume. In spurts he does. He wants to be in a slugfest. He wants to be in a firefight, but he's not weaponizing his output. He picks and chooses his spots. The reason why Ben struggled or, he won, looked uncomfortable at times with Dan is because Dan was just weaponizing his pace and weaponizing that front foot output. That's not how Nikita fights. So it'd be hard for me to think that with Nikita's career trajectory, with where he's trending, Nikita's not going to be the one that's going to have to change his style to fight Ben. If Ben wants to be competitive, he's going to be the one that's going to have to change some things to be competitive with Nikita. So I think Nikita's going to be who Nikita always is. He will be on the front foot. He's going to use his lead hand, and he's going to want Ben to exchange with him in 50-50 exchanges. Will Ben do that? I don't think Ben will do that. So I think Ben will fight negatively. I think that Ben will try to use his jab and try to win rounds from the outside, and I think it'll be boring, and I think Ben will lose a decision on the outside. But this is all speculative. Boy, nobody knows. The hell. Now, if it comes to pass and it's right, you guys will say that I was right, and like always, I'll be uncomfortable getting compliments. I don't like getting compliments. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't sit here. It's weird. Nobody knows. I'm only telling you what I'm seeing. I'm not telling you I'm right. I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm not telling you I know more than you, and I'm not telling you that you know less than I do. All I'm telling you is what I see from my whole life around the sport, okay? And from being a content creator perspective, you guys have the ability to check all my receipts because they're all on YouTube. Okay, we got that out the way. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Boxing's a crazy sport. One punch could change everything. Nikita could catch Ben in the very first exchange. Ben could get knocked out in the first round, and then I'll get trolled. You don't know, and rightfully so. Or, it could be a fight that I'm predicting. It could be, a wide points decision, a boring sort of 12-rounder. And then you guys will be in the comments saying I was right and complimenting me, and I still won't be happy because I don't like getting compliments. So you see what I'm saying? Any guy out there who is sitting in a position of like MMA betting, UFC betting, boxing betting, and they're saying that like they're trying to build a following, saying that they know everything, they're fucking lying to you guys. They're liars. They're like, nobody knows. All anybody who does what I do could do is give you their perspective on whatever their life experience is in or out of the ring. You don't think Ben has a cars? No. It's not about it. Okay, it's not about him being at home. It's about him being the B side on a no limit card. Right? It's not about Ben Mahoney fighting at home. I brought Ben fighting at home based off of him not going to get knocked out in front of his people. Ben Mahoney is such a like visceral fighter. He's not one of these guys to I'm just gonna go out on my shield for the sake of admiration. He's no self-preservation. He's a young father. He has a young wife. He's the type of dude that I feel that will entertain the idea of a slugfest early and then make adjustments when he has to mitigate damage and then see if he can win a chess match. But he's not one of these guys to just, all right, that's not working. Let me just go into the fire. And if I get knocked out, I get knocked out. He's not going to make that decision to get stopped at home. What do you think of Parlay Ammo, Marksman? I know Ammo fights next week. I like both guys. I like Ammo. Does Peters get the stoppage? Callum Peters, yes. Blake Wells. I got Callum to stop Blake Wells. Dude, I rate Callum. I put Callum up there in terms of not just Aussie prospects. This kid, you see his fight style, you see the maturity he fights with, you see the sort of style, the pace he puts on you. Now Callum's a guy who weaponizes his pressure and pace, weaponizes his volume. And if you're following along in my Discord or on my Instagram story, I do breakdowns on my Instagram story every day as well. So I'll post analysis up there that you won't see anywhere else other than on my Insta story. And I did one on Callum Peters, and Callum Peters is what I call an opportunistic puncher. This is a guy, and he's just growing, storied amateur. A lot of hype coming out of the Aussie amateur, and the Aussie amateur scene is stacked, dude. The Aussie amateur scene is freaking loaded because there's a lot of money in the Aussie amateur scene. Callum Peters is one of those guys coming out of that scene. Kira Rustin is one of those guys coming out of that scene, and who are both on this card. And Peters, man, he's trying to punch, and he doesn't throw anything at 100%. He's not sitting on shots unless he sees you hurt. He's throwing everything about 50 to 60%. He's just touching you. He's touching you, and it's a very stressful style to deal with if you're not conditioned. And when he's trying to turn you, when he turns you, he's punching in those spaces. So every moment of opportunity in that empty space, he's punching. And it's just a very old school style that I appreciate. You don't see many young kids fighting with that style. A, because you have to be in super great shape. B, you have to be durable. And C, you have to be extremely confident that you're conditioned and you're durable because he's in your wheelhouse. He's in the stove, the oven, the entire fight. It's super fun to watch. I think Blake Wells won't be able to handle that. Joshawn James, good background as an amateur in the U.S. Joshawn had shared the ring with Lester Martinez. They brought Joshawn James down here. That was a big step up. And you can watch my breakdown. I was saluting 50 Cal's handlers before the Joshawn fight. I was like, mate, this might be a step too soon. I was like, they're already matching him up with a guy like Joshawn, an American with the pedigree. I was like, we'll see how he does. And sure enough, like a true veteran, Callum had Joshawn hurt early, and he couldn't get him out of there. And Joshawn recovered. And actually, after Joshawn got hurt, he made him more competitive. And it was kind of like a so-called, I don't want to say Callum did this, and he probably would never admit to it, but it was kind of like a silent agreement from like the 6 onwards, to where Callum wasn't losing rounds, he wasn't losing exchanges, but he wasn't willing like he was earlier in the fight to go in and try to get him out of there because Joshawn was landing every now and then. I think Joshawn was catching Callum with a jab. But this fight, and we just saw Callum on the Tszyu Errol card, and he looked great. And this fight is a step down. Cohen calling out Charlo like he wasn't a last-minute opponent. He's actually on Charlo. Well, the kid has to get paid. What is Charlo's level? What is Charlo? If anything, Cohen's the one fighting tonight. Cohen was the one who is scheduled to fight Charlo. Charlo is the one who didn't handle on his side to make the fight. Charlo is the one who hasn't been active. So the negativity on Cohen calling for the fight, it shouldn't be on Cohen. We should be shit talking Charlo. You know what I'm saying? There's no favoritism here. I don't cheer for any fighters. I cheer for the sport of boxing, and then obviously our predictions and our outcomes for our bank account. Other than that, who's Charlo? What's he done? What have you done for me lately? Except be super unprofessional, sabotage your own career, not be active. If Cohen wants to call him out, call him out. I don't care about what people think levels they're on. Charlo doesn't even have that dude. Don't even I would never defend that guy. Also, you don't think Nikita will gas out after 6 and 7? I'm not. Come on. Do you think 50? I do. I think Callum will get the stoppage. I have something like that. Not trying to go off topic. Yeah, tomorrow's the 23rd. 2 weeks, brother. Serenko, Wall, and boring. Yeah, I didn't watch that fight. Reeves knockout prop +3. Talk to me, Johnny. Yeah, Reeves knockout prop +300. Okay, so Max Reeves. Let me show you something. Boxwork's crazy. The thing about Max is he hasn't looked up to his potential in his most recent performances. Okay, I guess that's the best way of saying that. he got stopped against Tonga in a fight in which he was up 5 rounds to nothing. And then, like I said, he's coming off of a fight against Waita, a split decision, a unanimous decision. It was a massive upset when Tonga knocked him out, by the way. He was cruising in that fight. Yeah, 50-45, 50-45 2 times. So Tonga's the same guy that Kira Rustin stopped. So the guy that Kira Rustin is fighting, Simmons, Tonga would 100% stop that guy. No doubt in my mind. Okay, so this is Oliver Firth. Oliver Firth is around the same age. You know, Max is 26, Oliver's 24. It must be, money coming in on Oliver must be this. He's 8-0 with 7 knockouts. This is what they're looking at. He's a Kiwi, right? I mean, all right. Like, Max has fought at the higher level, has better wins, more pro experience, the better boxer. This kid is being brought specifically. No Limit knows what they're doing. I would play the knockout. 100 plus 300, I'd play the knockout. So this is what No Limit is doing. 8-0, 7 knockouts. Guess who else? Guess who's 9-0 with 9 knockouts, guys? Who's fighting another guy who's 9-0? And I don't like clowning fighters. I don't. But when I watch this tape, boy, when I watch Simmons tape, and then I found out he's a referee. So Simmons is a referee, and he's coming off. Check out his pro record. BoxRec is tripping, dude. I'm sorry, guys. BoxRec is always suspect. All these pop-ups. Okay, so look, he's also 9-0 with 9 knockouts. This is what No Limit does as a promoter. You want to make these undefeated. It's a good sell. In this matchup, 2 undefeated guys with 100% knockout to win ratios. Only one of them will come out on top. Will it be the hometown Aussie or the traveling like so and so? You know what I'm saying? So this guy. He's coming off a very impressive win against our boy Juan Andres Tio Diaz. Tio Diaz. These are Mexican fights, by the way. Look, I don't want to harp. I don't want to. Simmons seems like a nice enough guy. I know he runs a promotional company. I know he's a boxing referee down in Louisiana, and he was a Bermuda. He was on the Bermuda amateur team. But just watch his tape, and I'll leave it at that. And then once you watch Simmons' tape, watch Kira Rustin's tape. And I went into our Discord last night, and I saw 2 or 3 of you guys probably saying that Simmons is live. And that just sent me down. Like, when I read that, I was like, oh, God, I failed. I have failed as a communicator. I have failed as a teacher. I have failed as an educator. And I have failed as a voice of reason when we're talking about he's live. Now, people who think that Simmons is live are either anti-Australian, don't watch boxing, and you're only looking at the BoxRec records, and then you're looking at the odds, or on Team Simmons. They call him Dash. Dash. No comment on the nickname. Yeah, Max Reeves. Scared money. You got, dude, somebody do this for me, please. Let's do this right now. Can somebody take Firth for me? And if you're in Australia, put $100 bet on Firth. Because look, if you're in Australia, I'm not taking Firth. If I would put my $100 on Max Reeves by knockout at plus 300. But your 100, so my $100 would get me 300. Your 100 will get you 225. That's crazy. That's crazy. You guys must hold on. Give me 1 second. This is in real time. This is for you boys. What's up, brother? Have you looked at the Max Reeves line as of late? He's fighting Oliver Firth. As soon as you get this message, let me know what you think. All right. Let me know what you think about the line fluctuation. All right. I'll let you know. Santos Shakur was good. Yep. Hergovich Moses distance. Nope. What time in the US? So, guys, it is 12:10 p.m. here in Sydney, Wednesday, August 25th. The first fight starts in 4 hours and 50 minutes. So, wherever you are in the world, 4 hours and 50 minutes. I look like a freaking madman, dude. Insane. I look like a barnacle that grows on like the old shipping wood, like in a port. And you see those little barnacles growing on it, collecting like algae and moss. Let's go. So, guys, if you're in our Discord, remember we're going to be streaming the Aussie card. So, wherever you are in the world, another benefit of joining our world famous professional betting academy is that we stream all the fights. We stream the contender, we stream the boxing, and it's all pro sports. Is this Peter's third fight this year concerned? Nope. He's 21 years old. Hergovich versus Ituama. Who you got? I got Ituama 1 through 6. Johnny, I sent you a written. You sent me a written email. How dare you? But I think the question needs to join the Patreon VIP too, which I will. All right, Al. I thought you. Al, you've already been part of our squad. Johnny, I cashed 700 on Dana. Let's go. Young money is up. You Dana, dude. You guys winning on the Dana White Contender Series makes me happy. All right, boys. We're 42 minutes in. There's 118 of you savages in here, which is crazy. This time last year, we had 10 people. So I appreciate it. Just like the video, and then if you watch my Stats Don't Lie videos that I posted this week, comment. That's all I ask of you. Peter's fifth fight in 8 months. Yep, I was at the fight a month ago. It was an easy fight. He's 21 years old. He's active. He's strong, young, hungry, and activity pays the bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a guy with a lot of aspirations, a lot of hope. He comes from a really, really good background in camp. He is a storied Australian amateur. This kid already has promotional deals. He has sponsorship deals, and they wouldn't be taking fights if they weren't good fights. And trust me, Blake Wells, for a kid like Callum, is a good fight. A good fight to showcase. Send your 43-inch TV when I join the VIP Patreon. I'll request you. It's still in my spare room, bro. I forgot. I almost took that shit to the trash. I think it's bigger than 43. I'll get it. It's a LG. If you want it, I will request you to send it to me. Bro, you brought this up. It's still in my spare room. I got a bike if you want it. Any action on Jordan White? Short dog. I'll get to it in a second. Sal, ¿qué pasó, Johnny Bravo? Bien, ¿y tú? He's not answering unless you remember what? What? Am I tripping? Do you think Caroline Dubois? Look, what's up, Live Life? You know I still have PTSD from that name Caroline. So I thought you were trolling me a bit. Shout out to Youngstown. Could you name all these guys? Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Who's that? Youngstown. Youngstown legends. My bad, Blue Bets too. Oh, Blue Bets is the GOAT. We got a couple. We got Blue Bets in the... Yeah, that makes more sense. Blue Bets is one of our OG GOATs in the MMA chat. Him and Sloppy Wet Wet. But Barry, I thought you got me excited because I'm an MMA bettor too. I thought you guys somehow talked Barium into doing MMA breakdowns. Does Mahoney have good chin? Yeah. Yeah. I this is the thing, Kennel. I've seen Nikita wobbled. I've seen Nikita out on his feet. I've seen Nikita dropped. I've seen Nikita look like he was should have been stopped. I've never seen Ben hurt. Like all like there's just and Ben's the bigger dude. He's the more seasoned dude. He's the more experienced dude. Ben's been fighting since he was a 12-year-old. Guys, Ben Mahoney is not a pushover. And if anything, where he might lack with the power side, I give Nikita the power side, the youth side, the speed advantage. The obviously he's the better athlete, but we know it's boxing. Look what Paulie Malignaggi did, and Paulie created a Hall of Fame career missing some of the key elements of what a good boxer is supposed to be. One of my childhood buddies, Pavlik created a Hall of Fame career, having what the boxing experts said was a small or limited tool belt, having bad feet, or having limited head movement and only throwing 2 punches, and all that shit they used to say about Kelly. And look what his career. So what I'm saying is, it's not always about the things that you can that you either are lacking or that you possess. It's how those things mesh against your opponent on any given night. This is why we watch. This is the romance behind our sport. Anything can happen. Now, we only know what we know. I've never seen Ben hurt. I've never seen Ben stopped. I don't even know if I've ever seen Ben knocked down. I'd have to I can't, and the chat will let us know. I don't remember watching Ben ever getting dropped. Maybe. I'm not saying he has. But I know firsthand what, dude. And I know Nikita's learning on the fly. Nikita's been, literally growing in front of us, and he is evolving. He's one of my favorite Australian fighters, and he keeps adding levels. But I remember the Ben Horn fight. I remember the Dylan Biggs fight. I remember the Koen Moussadere fight. And I just mentioned these fights because this was a Nikita Tszyu who didn't move his head, kept his head straight on the midline, his torso didn't move, and he was just punching a phone booth. And he was more like a sort of sideshow circus event at that stage. But then you watch the last year and a half, 2 years of his career, and it's like, oh, this kid's been training. Like, did you see him on the scales yesterday? Gee, I have never seen Nikita look that good at the weigh-ins. And he's TV friendly, action packed fighter, personality through the roof in all the best possible ways. You guys know that the kid goes into the woods and makes his own knives, doesn't use social media, doesn't care about fame, talks about being insane, drinks his wife's breast milk. Like, the dude's wild in all the best possible ways. So everybody thinks will Ben be able to survive Nikita's power? Is Nikita known for being a one-punch marauder? Cohen, plus 100. Guys, that Max Reeves knockout is crazy. You guys better not talk me into playing that bullshit either. Sam Beck is a kid who Sam Beck's claim to fame was getting stopped against 126-pound Brock Jarvis. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that. Cohen. Look, there's some tough. They brought some Kiwis on this card, and we got a lot of Kiwis in our group. And you guys know I love New Zealand. You know, when it's in their DNA to be fighters. One of my favorite boxers of all time is a Kiwi, David Tua, Kia Ora. So I'm a big fan, and I'm seeing like they pick their spots. I'm pretty sure isn't Sam Beck a Kiwi, and I'm pretty sure that Firth is a Kiwi. Maybe I could be wrong. But sometimes, in these sort of no limit spots, they're going to be tough. But that means they're going to be there to get hit. Who is the Kiwi kid, Andrew? A kid who broke the mold? Because this could be a bad stereotype. But the version right now, like when I think of Kiwis, I think of tough, durable punchers who don't have a lot of defense, who sort of like, it's not that they lack head movement, they don't care for it. So they're just going to, and they're kind of bigger boys. So they're always, probably fighting in like, junior middleweight up. So you're going to see a lot of knockouts. Who is the kid who fought Ben Hussein and he was coming off a career defining, like a career resurgence. It'll come to me. And then when he got the Ben Hussein fight, Ben Hussein looked amazing. But I think he was a Kiwi as well. Nikita fight like Southpaw Tim. Nikita is more bladed. So if we're talking about optics of their style, yeah, one's an orthodox, one's southpaw. Nikita's way more bladed, so way more here. Tim's a little bit more here. Tim doesn't throw his lead hook. Yeah, when Tim was at his best, they're different. Tim at his best is still way better than Nikita, by the way. That's so crazy. I was hearing like now the reason why you guys are thinking that it's not is because I think with Nikita at 28, we don't know Nikita's upside. We don't know Nikita's ceiling because we've seen Tim's ceiling and then we've seen the degradation of a former world champion get a little bit older, have a couple losses, and then the ceiling is gone, and then they're just that's the Tim that people remember. But when the run that Tim went on all the way up, until the Fundora first fight, ultra aggressive, ultra confident, good hand speed, great power, would bully you, could take a shot, great chin, super durable, very proud guy, like very fun guy. Like Nikita doesn't have the versatility in his sort of like toolbox offensively right now than that Tim had when Tim was on his run. Not even close. Same, no head movement, same flaws. Nikita's getting better. Nikita's getting better. I think Tim's feet, this is going to sound, Tim's feet in terms of distance and range control was way better than people gave him credit for. Him being able to just slide in and out in small spaces at one time was actually pretty good. He had really, really, really efficient footwork. He didn't waste a lot. And body punching, I like to see Nikita go to the body a bit more. But Tim doesn't use his jab as much. I think Nikita uses his jab a bit more than Tim does now. So I just think they're two totally different fighters. Yeah, Nikita's his head movement has improved vastly. His punch placement has improved vastly. His patience has improved vastly. And the thing that I've liked the most about Nikita's is his torso movement. Rather than just here, slip, he's much more here, being able to manage space here without moving the back foot, right? That comes down to torso mobility and training, being able to, see shots coming and kind of trick your opponent in thinking that you're out of range when you're really in range and setting up your counter punches like that. And Nikita's always looking to set up that counter. So I think they're two totally different fighters. In our Discord, Power Kennel, we're playing it in our Discord. Guys, there's 118 of you guys in here. We better have at least 20 likes. If we can't get 14 likes, y'all motherfuckers is crazy. Can't get 14 likes out here. I've done my research. I believe Luis Torres knocks out Jordan White in the seventh. We've seen him get. This line should be a lot wider. Groovy, are you in our Discord? Are you in you should get in our Discord because it's not my correct lean, but people have been trying to entertain me on Jordan as a dog. But I went into fight week leaning Torres. I'm on Patreon. There's a show here. I'm always at Jerry. I know you're a Patreon. You didn't answer my question. You didn't answer my question. No. I know you're on our Patreon, Jerry Lee. So feel the Nikita fight. Well, that's my play. I got Nikita. My big guys. I've said it all week for those who aren't following along. I told you guys this in our Discord last week. My biggest wager, my biggest bet, my biggest risk of the entire 2026 year was this weekend when I took, it pays plus 114. The units have changed. So Teo, Kira, Callum, Nikita. I just need those other three to come in, and I've set 2027 up in terms of my own bankroll. How I schedule my bankroll, I do it month to month. I tell you guys is, if you're really serious about betting and saving money and creating sort of like a system on making it professional, you should strategize in spreadsheet. I break my year down in months. So I do month to month. And I have a bankroll month to month, and I never chase it, and I never dip. And this is how, when you're up, you add to the, if it's 2 months into the year, you add to the 10 months. And then this is how you can increase your unit of measure throughout the year. Your only prediction that has me nervous and can't put, don't put anything. It's not, I didn't predict that. Your only prediction that has me nervous and can't put in my weekend parlays. I didn't predict that. I'm taking Meyer to beat Cameron, but that's not a prediction. That's for our long parlay. Guys, I think these are great questions to be asking. I did the long parlay for you guys. You know, I think Mayer is going to win, but you see that I took Michaela on a 14-leg quarter unit weekly long parlay that you guys asked me to do. That it's actually how I started our channel last March, not this March, the March before. I would just post the long parlays every week. We hit 62 in a row. You remember that? That's why I started doing these, because you guys asked me. But I stopped doing that because how often do we get 10 fights in a weekend that I like, that I'm comfortable enough predicting? So with these ones, I'll read them to you. I do like Michaela to win. I think she's the better boxer. I think she has the better pedigree. She has the better skill set. But in terms of I guess there's a difference with how I take that comment. My prediction. I didn't break that fight down. You didn't hear my prediction. You do see it on my ticket, though. I do think she's going to win. So I guess you could call that a prediction. Here is my weekly parlay. This pays plus 1,000. The JSB insiders have this ticket. These are all money lines. So this is a straight shot. Kira Rustin, Callum Peters, Nikita Tszyu, Corey Marksman, Guido Vianello, Ursu, Yoembi, Carolyn Dubois, Sam Noakes, Michaela Mayer, Moses Ituama, Najee Lopez, Lester Martinez, Brandon Mosqueda, plus 1,000. So essentially, yeah, those aren't my predictions, but that's like a quarter unit play. If you ever see me do a stats don't lie video, like the ones you saw this week with my Corey Marksman breakdown, Nikita breakdown, today the Moses breakdown, that's what I call a prediction. So when you see those, I've a lot of money on those for me. But when you see a 14-leg money line long parlay, it's like I did that shit on the live stream off Jump. You know, Michaela's not going to show up in any more of my tickets, by the way. Are these fights on DAZN? Not sure. Good day, mate. What does the American fighting like care like? He's not American. Do you think he could be up to? No, he's terrible. So Kira Rustin is fighting a kid from Bermuda who's named Sandra Simmons, who's freaking awful, who Rustin will get out of there. Rustin could get him out of there between rounds 1 and 5. Look. This is why you guys need to go in the Discord, because I broke all of this down, these questions down, last night with videos. I put all these videos up of Kira's opponent. So this is Kira's opponent, his last fight. This is his last fight. This is Sandra Simmons, my bad. Kira is fighting Sandra Simmons, a guy that people think is going to beat Kira Rustin. Sandra Simmons' last opponent was this guy. He was 9-37. They fought in Tijuana. I'll show you footage of it. Look how he punches. Look how he punches. He's fucking awful. Dude, he's freaking awful. I'll show you more. This is his other opponent. So, this is Sandra Simmons. This is the kid who's 9-0 that No Limit brought in from Bermuda. He is going to get absolutely destroyed. I got more video for you if you want to sit through it. This. Look at how he punches. That's all. Just pay attention how he punches. dude, it's not. It gonna be bad. It gonna be bad. I'm late. Did anyone hit up mirrors? Yeah, our Discord did. Alex Apodaca. We had. Let me show you. So the Dana White Contender Series bet for the boys. Did anyone win money? UBIO, UBIA, wanna bump that body, baby. Wanna bump that body. Wanna bump that body, don't stop. UBIO, UBIA, wanna bump that body, baby. Wanna bump that body. Wanna bump that body, don't stop. Out on the dance floor, I'm holding you so tight. Going to the fights tonight. So you're gonna be in the Goldie. Ryan McGregor in the house. Let's go. I'm jealous. Watch Max tape. I'm for sure fading him. Oliver looks way better. Fade him. Kelly Powell, the pride of Ohio, Billy Lau. That's Kelly. Billy's not on the shirt. It's a good guess, though. It's Kelly, Jim Trussell, Ed O'Neill, Bernie Kosar. So one more. And Boom Boom Mancini. All from Youngstown, Ohio. Ed O'Neill, married with children. You guys should know them. Bernie Kosar, famous Browns quarterback. You should know Kelly and Ray. And then Jim Trussell was Ohio State and Youngstown State's coach. What's your take on Terry Harper? Harper should win. I don't want to talk about it yet. Uncle Johnny, what's up, nephew? Aussie pugilist knockout. Yeah, come on. We got to do something. We're an hour in and we're still over 100 people. I have to meet up with my girl shortly to get a coffee. She's like, Johnny, you trying to come over? You want to have a little coffee? I was like, girl, you know I like coffee. I was like, I'll come over. What's your opinion on Carolina Dubois? Ben has never been dropped. They said, yeah, there you go. Yeah. And so I've never seen Ben dropped. I've seen Nikita almost get stopped by Ben Horn. Johnny, give me a platform where we're going to talk about the TV. Elf, do you realize that it will cost me more money to send the TV to you than it is? I'll just buy you a TV, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the TV to post from Australia for how big it is. I assume you don't live in Australia. I'll just send you $500 and you could get a TV. You want a brand new one anyway, bro. It's not like it's usable, but I wouldn't feel right packaging it up and sending it overseas to you. Watching from the shadows, glad how far you've come from a year ago. Salvador Pineda, 7762. Damn, I wish I was fishing right now. 100 on Reeves by stoppage, pays $375 in the UK. Shrimp eyes. Look, guys. 1,000,000%. The Max Reeves fight it's not on my mortgage parlay. I told you. I guess we're calling that my yearly mortgage parlay. The yearly mortgage parlay, which I'm all invested in, so big. I'm talking the months we hit everything January, February, March, April, sort of that long run we had. It doubles my money, and those fights only included Teo, Kira, 50 Cal, and Nikita. The Max Reeves thing is on you guys. If you guys think Firth is live, play him. But that's on you. You know what I'm saying? I don't have anything invested in Max Reeves. I just want you to know that. If Max Reeves at home can't beat Firth, then I will never understand why everybody was so upset and shocked when he got stopped against Tonga Tonga. Because Tonga Tonga would stop a lot of guys on the domestic level in Australia. You know, so like Max was up 5 rounds to nothing. He was cruising, and then he got caught. And he is a bit gassy. He's not a world beater. He's not a guy that like you talk about. Like he's not a guy on the Aussie scene like is spoken about like Ahmad Rita or Callum Peters or Kira Rustin. It's Max Reeves. So if you guys are looking for odds, and that's why you keep asking me, then that's on you. It's not a fight that I'm invested in. Logic would say Firth isn't winning, but that's on you guys. And I support you boys. You know I got your back. You think Nikita can knock out Ben? I have Nikita on points. He could catch Ben. I'm not like guys, prop betting. If you're new to the game, Betting on props, meaning betting on outcomes. When you look at your sports book right now and you realize that a lot of these fights coming up, the money line odds are shit, right? There's big favorites fighting big underdogs, and you know enough to know that the underdog probably isn't going to win, but your bankroll isn't heavy enough to get value out of a big dog. So then you have to open the onion layer, and you have to, okay, now shit, to find good odds, I have to pick a method of victory. I have to now get sexy and try to predict how the fight's going to end. That's called prop betting. That's so volatile. Prop betting is extremely volatile, meaning that it's super risky. So I never the in terms of my bankroll, I don't even come close to betting heavy on will he win on points or will he win by knockout. I'm betting way more heavier on will so and so just win. Will so and so just win. I've gone way heavier on that than Nikita on points. So you guys would make fun of me to see how much money I put on Tszyu, Nikita, Callum, and Kira to just win. So heavy versus the bet I have Nikita. I have a separate bet, Nikita on points. I'm betting that, but it's not even comparable because it's a prop. Prop betting, you're going to get better odds, but bro, nobody I know in doing it professionally like myself and guys that are in my sort of ethos that don't have platforms that are just behind the scenes, they don't do props. They don't bet. I don't know one guy going 10 grand, 20 grand on props is what I'm saying. And they definitely don't bet every fight. So, we cover every fight because we love boxing and you guys asked me to. But can Nikita stop Ben? Yeah, man. Am I betting Nikita on points? Yeah. Do I have my mortgage on Nikita on points? Hell no. Why? Because it's a prop. Early pick Kira versus Carlo Canzelas. I'm not getting that fight, but I hope I do get that fight because it's going to be good tape to break down. I know that's at the end of the week. What's up, Tinio? Shout out to Tinio. I'm not getting it on my books. I will do a breakdown though because I like both guys. I've covered both guys on my channel before. Nikita still has amateur. Would you call Nikita an amateur though? He didn't go through the amateur ranks. He didn't go through all the tournaments. He didn't try to qualify for the Commonwealth Games. He didn't try to qualify for the Olympics. This isn't like Harry Garside. This isn't like what Callum did. This isn't like what Kira did. Nikita boxed a little bit when he was younger. No, it is in his blood. It is in his blood. But I mean, I get all that. Thank you, Johnny. I won 320. Let's go, Gabriel Aguiar. We get our wins, and if $320 could pay anything for you, take it out. I always tell the boys, if you're winning, whatever your winning is, whether it's 3,200, 32,000, 300, $30, if you need to pay something off, electricity, mortgage, car, take your girl out, buy yourself some shoes, do that. Don't just keep putting it back in. Set boundaries. Buy yourself something, buy your mom something, that sort of thing. Because if you're not doing that and you don't have anything to show for, like when I look around and I'm like, oh, that's a new camera, or that new big screen I bought with gambling money, or I didn't have a mortgage, I didn't have to pay. Like that's what I'm saying. And you could work towards that. But if you're just like, I'm gonna get rich off of gambling, I'm gonna start with $100, I'm gonna make $100,000, and I'm gonna make 1 million. It's never gonna work. You gotta build. You gotta build. You gotta build. You gotta have systems and boundaries. If you start with 100, you should be like, all right, I'm gonna turn this 100 to 500, and then I'm gonna take the 500 out, put it in my bank account, and I'm gonna rebuild with another 100, and I'm gonna keep doing that. And then when you get good at doing that, turn it to 1,000, and then you start doubling and doubling. Are you nervous that you're big? No, as you can tell, Manny, I'm just excited. I'm excited. You can tell. Nikita get him out on round 5. Let's go, Night Trader. Look, and this is also what, when I tell you guys, whenever we disagree, some of us are disagreeing on the Nikita outcome. I'm cheering for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that the amount of money that I put on my props, I'm not going to miss. I don't know what you got. I have to be responsible enough to have enough ethics to whoever tunes in here to be sure that you guys aren't betting and you're going to miss your bet. And if that's the case, let's say you're taking Nikita by knockout and I'm taking Nikita on points, but your loss is going to totally, really, really put you in a bad spot. I'm going to cheer for you. I want you to win. You know what I'm saying? My loss. I'm not that. It's not my intention to. I don't bet like that. But some of you guys do. And this is why I don't try to debate. When somebody tries to debate me within our group about trying to change my mind on one of my picks, you don't have to do that. I'm not, because my goal is never to change your mind. My goal is always just to tell you what I'm seeing. If you're part of the JSB Discord, do you get access to the Patreon? No. So the Patreon is different from YouTube. So the best way to put this is there's 2 access points to our Discord, right? Before the Patreon, it was just YouTube. But then I got so many emails from guys from all over the world who were like, hey, Johnny, I don't have YouTube. Or I live in this country where we can't pay YouTube memberships. How else can I access your Discord? They're like, do you have Patreon? So the Patreon I started last November as a secondary gateway into our Discord. Same price package, same membership tiers. You still get all my tips, all my parlays. You get everything that the YouTube membership has, everything. Except that you're on Patreon and they're on YouTube. And then you both get into the Discord. Kira from Japan. Yep. I broke this down in our group. I really like Najee Lopez in this spot. I don't think Carrillo. I think Carrillo is too slow. I think Carrillo likes to hang out on the outside too much. I just did the breakdown on a fight that I thought Carrillo lost. If you guys go to my Instagram, it's on my Instagram story. I'll show you. I'll just bring it up. So if you care, if you're like Paul and you care about the Najee Lopez versus Carrillo outcome, this is my take. And I'll be doing a Statstone Live video on this, so you'll be able to see it on my YouTube channel. But this is my sort of rough draft take. Okay, so this is a fight that Carrillo fought a guy named Van Sicklin. I thought he lost this fight. He was getting beat up in this fight. He got knocked down and dropped in this fight. I think that Carrillo likes things at his own temperature. I think Carrillo isn't going to be able to fend off Najee for the total rounds. I think Carrillo might be competitive early on, but Najee will eventually get to him. And I think Najee stops Carrillo. Carrillo likes to sit back and fight at his temperature. He thrives when he's making all the decisions. So when things are going his way, similar to Ben Mahoney in a way of wanting to control the tempo and rhythm of a fight in which they look good at. Some guys could look good when they're off the back foot. Some guys could adapt and look good. Like a Jaron Ennis type could look good wherever the fight goes. A Bud Crawford type could look good wherever the fight goes. Not every fighter could do that. Most guys can only look good in their wheelhouse, right? Not many guys are as versatile to be able to be the hammer and nail and still look good. So Najee Lopez is going to force Carrillo. He's going to force him back and make him punch with him. So those are those 50-50 exchanges. And we know Carrillo, he could be aggressive. He has a good jab. I think Carrillo will struggle in the 50-50s. I really like the style matchup for Lopez. I think to beat Lopez, you have to have power, but you also have to meet him in the middle. Gallegos tried but didn't have the firepower. If Lopez can answer Carrillo's jab, I feel he could break Carrillo down. Carrillo does have a good lead hand, and he's accurate with good speed. I don't think that'll be enough to carry him. He might look good early, but Najee's pace will break him down. I think Najee is in a great spot against Carrillo, and you don't have to agree with me. How you feel about Caroline Dubois? I got her on the money line. What is the Discord group? Johnny says boxing, but it's a VIP. It's an invite only, Ryan. So Ryan, are you in our Patreon? No, you're killing me, Johnny. My dumbass question. You're not dumb, Ozzy. You're my guy. But shut up. Fuck the Papa Doc. Fuck the clock. Fuck the. So we're gonna do the TV. I think I'm getting trolled by my own people. Brett Mahoney ever been? No, he's never lost. So Mahoney's never been dropped, never stopped. He's undefeated. He's fighting in his hometown in a IBF World Title Eliminator. He has more pro experience. He's the better technical boxer. There's a lot like if he had a little bit more power, I would entertain maybe him being live. But he does. This is my boy Kira. Kira is going to absolutely. He's going to shine tonight. I can't wait to see Kira fight. He's one of my favorite Aussies right now. Kira Rustin. If you haven't seen Kira Rustin fight, man, go watch his tape. Super electric, super aggressive, great body puncher, boxer, slugger sort of kid. Confident, young, fights you right in the wheelhouse. This is Vegas Larfield. Vegas Larfield, if you could get him on your books, money line, great bet. The value's pretty decent. He's in another Queenslander in a great spot to shine. He's fighting against an undefeated Filipino kid they call the Vampire. But Vegas Larfield has been in way bigger spots. Vegas Larfield, as an 18-year-old, Vegas Larfield fought on the Terrence Crawford, Kell Brook undercard in Las Vegas. This is a kid from a small town in Queensland, Australia, with not a big gym behind him. And all of a sudden, as an 18-year-old, a teenager, he's fighting on a Bud Crawford card in Las Vegas. So he's 24 right now. His only blemish is the loss that I thought he won on points. He's technical, he's aggressive, he's sharp. And it's only a 6-rounder, though. So just from my own sort of boundaries and learning from losses of a lifelong gambling on boxing, you always have to be hesitant on betting on fights that are 6-rounders. So I would be as hesitant to bet on a 6-rounder fight as I am to bet on ladies boxing. We still do it. We still bet on ladies boxing. We still bet on 6-rounders. All I'm saying is, because it's only 6-rounders, Vegas, he'll have to win 4 out of 6. Which I think he will. This is my boy Corey Marksman. We know about Corey. We've been covering him on the channel. He's in another good spot this weekend. I think he's going to shine. This is my ticket I get. If you're on my Instagram, I give you all these little secrets. This is last night. This plus 185. This is my official prop play. If you watch my breakdown on my YouTube channel, I gave you guys this bet. So this is Ben Mahoney. This is Nikita's opponent. There's going to be a bit of a lag here, but you can watch your own tape. Ben, he's a tidy boxer, man. He's technical. He uses a whole ring. He's versatile. He has good feet. He has a good jab. I like his timing on his backhand. You see that? He's going to use lateral movement to get out of positions. The thing about Ben, though, is he did not look good against Dan Hill. Dan Hill is a guy that I felt, in terms of Ben's pedigree, Ben's experience, just Ben's skill set, I thought that was going to be an easy fight for Ben, and he should have stopped a guy like Dan Hill, but he didn't. And the reason why he didn't, Dan Hill's pressure bothered Ben. Now, was that because Ben wasn't in shape? Did he take Dan Hill lightly? I don't have those answers. Is it because at 31, he's been fighting since he was 12, he's faded? I don't have those answers. I do expect, come tonight, Ben to look better against Nikita than he did against Dan Hill. And this is my guy. Look, who's doing feint and go counters, boy? The champion, the pretty boy. He is a joy to watch. If you guys have never gone down the rabbit hole of watching Josh Kelly highlights, boy, you're missing out. If you like technical, skilled, reflex boxing, you don't know who PBK, you guys know who he is now because he's a world champion. But his highlights are really fun to watch. I can't believe I manifested it. I'm going to pull out the video I did 3 years ago when Jerron was fighting at 147 and Josh just lost to Ava. And I said, the fight that I want to see is Josh versus Boots Ennis. And I did not think it was going to happen at 154 when both were world champions. But from a stylistic perspective, to see how, from a boxing nerd perspective, a kid who grew up in the ring in a boxing town like Youngstown, Ohio, being in gyms my whole life, to see how those two styles will mesh. Whew, I'm excited. Hopefully it gets signed. I think it's going to get signed. Josh asked for this fight. Jerron obviously wants this fight. It's a chance for these boys to unify and then really stake their claim at the top of the division. And then whoever has these belts, they're going to fight Seb for undisputed. And that's what we want. It'll be interesting to see what the odds would be. And hopefully it gets signed. I think it's going to be. How do you feel about Vegas? I think we covered that. You don't think Ben's experience is? It is. I talked about that. Yo, Johnny, the Max Reeves line crashed. Yeah, crazy, crazy. No. You guys are the best. I love our chat. Let me see if anybody messaged me. I sent that. Guys, we're an hour and 20 in, but earlier in the stream, I sent that voice note about Max Reeves. Now he's not hurt. You guys know you don't have to bet on Max Reeves, right? Does Lester win easy? I'm not a big Lester Martinez guy. He's fighting Luke Plantich. He should win. Nikita experience compared to Ben is levels below. I agree. Have we been taught? Have I covered this? Jamie, are you fucking with me? Haven't I? Or I'm just catching up to the chat. I'm catching up to the chat. Is this Nikita's toughest test? I think so. I mean, Nikita has the better win. Like if you're looking at both guys' resumes, the Ben Hussein win for Ben Mahoney has aged well, all things considered. But he fought Hussein when Hussein was like 20, and that was like 6 years ago. And Ben Hussein's way better. He's coming off a career resurging, amazing performance against that Kiwi, Andrew, can't think of his last name. But when you look at Nikita's best win, Dylan, because Dylan, coming off, Dylan's what, 17-1, 18-1, just won the WBC Grand Prix. I think he might be getting a main event or a co-main feature in a card coming up. And they do have a common opponent. Like I said, both Mani and Nikita fought Cohen Muzadder. Cohen and Nikita it was a war. It was a back and forth, nip and tuck, life and death. And then Nikita stopped Cohen in the 9th. And then a lot of people think Cohen beat Ben, but it was ruled a draw. So I think Nikita has the better win, but overall career experience as a fighter, Mani has that experience. Is this Nikita's toughest test? I think it is, man. But I think this is... I think I would take Ben to beat Dylan Biggs. I know. I think you just have to, if you, depending on what side of the coin you're on, would you take Monty to beat Biggs? And if you answer yes, then it is his toughest opponent. 100%. No, not on Patreon yet, but keen to join. Want some good analysis before the... Yeah, so Ryan, just go to my channel. I put all my predictions up on the playlist. Is Nikita versus Ben 12 or 10? Everyone saying 10 rounds, but BoxRec says 12. Let me check. It's a title eliminator. It should be 12. Yeah, it's 12. It's a title eliminator. How does Sam Noakes do? Oh, I think he storms Baranchik. Dennis is 38 years old, hasn't looked good in a while, retired, got stopped against Keyshawn. Sam Noakes' only blemish is against Abdullah in a really close fight. That fight was close and ultra competitive, even if Abdullah won a UD. And I'm from Northeast Ohio, so I'm obviously by loyalty sake, I'm a diehard Abdullah fan. Shout out to Tiger Johnson too. Diehard Tiger. Shout out to Charles Conwell, Northeast Ohio, runs boxing. And it was Sam was in that fight up until the final bell, without a doubt. Started to fade a bit late, but that was just because of Abdullah's body punching, and the pace was absolutely extraordinary. I think Sam Noakes is going to steamroll Baranchik. Yeah, but he's a former world champion, and Baranchik has a win over Navarrete, and Baranchik's only losses to Keyshawn, and Keyshawn's, world class. I get all that, but Baranchik's also 38 years old. Baranchik has a lot of wear and tear. Baranchik hasn't been active. Baranchik's motor isn't the best, and Sam Noakes is going to weaponize that. I think Sam Noakes looks good in that spot. I'm not a big prop better either. The only exception sometimes is heavyweight boxing. It too, I'm a stub. Yeah, Barry, we got to pick and choose our spots, right? So from a betting perspective, we're kind of like a world level counter boxer, right? You're not going to sit on every counter, And even if you got, even if the counter's there, the greatest counter boxers aren't always firing, even if it's there. The greatest ones will wait. The greatest ones will set it up and be patient. I always refer to one of my favorite counter spots in a moment in a multi-round setup was Canelo versus Amir Khan. Because Canelo had that counter for like 2 rounds, but he waited and he waited and he was cutting distance and he was cutting distance and it was landing in the second. Khan's punch was landing in the second, and then the third it was landing and Canelo was rolling. And the fourth round you saw Canelo kind of wins, and then the fifth round, boom, one punch knockout, beautiful. And you don't have, like, I'm not a fan of any guy. I'm a fan of the sport. When you're watching that setup, that 3-round trap that Canelo set Amir Khan up with, that is kind of like a bet, and this is how big of a nerd I am. This is when Barium says that, he picks and chooses his spots to prop bet. That's what I think. You, as a bettor, you got to pick and choose where you want to throw that counter, throw that prop. Similar to when Canelo chose to throw it against Amir Khan. One of my all-time favorite, at least in this modern era, of a multi-round trap in a fight that psychologically Amir Khan thought he was winning. Boom! How quick could the fight change? My book has Carolyn. You guys love some Carolyn, boy. Do you think Michaela Chantel? Yes. Does it go the distance? Johnny, I'm interested in the TV. Can I still transfer for you? Find out. I'll buy you. I feel like you guys support me so much. I'll buy you a TV, bro. Ryan says that. All right, Ryan, I'm gonna send you the link, bro. Sign up to Patreon. So Ryan, what I'm gonna do is send you the Discord link now in Patreon DMs. All right. And guys, we started our Patreon last August, and Ryan will be our 630th. 629th VIP. So we're growing. All right. Hey brother, glad to be part. So if there's a guy in our Patreon named Jose Velasquez, and you're on the chat now, I'm sending Jose Velasquez. I'm sending you the Discord link. Appreciate you, brother. And then Ryan McGregor, could you please DM me on Patreon and I'll send you the link? And guys, once you're in the Patreon, have a look. And if you have any questions, ask me, because we stream the fights. The fights are going to start in 4 hours. We're going to have them streaming. How do you feel about Cardenas? I like Cardenas. I'll let you know. What was the Max Reeves voice? He never got back to me. Don't bet on him. Guys, we don't have to bet on Max Reeves. Lots of late money calling Oliver. I just want my favorite channels passed on TV, just like merch. This is Sandbeck's opponent, first 10 rounder, 6 rounds, most he's ever gone. I know who Sandbeck is. Sandbeck is the kid who got knocked out against Brock. Has Ben ever fought anyone? See, and Jamie, these are good questions. All right, there we go. Ryan, I got you, brother. I was waiting to put my phone down because I knew you were going to do it. Copy link. My man, welcome, bro. This is a great question, Jamie. Has Ben ever fought anyone with Nikita's style? No, man. And look, people in my Discord last night were like, "Damn, Johnny, you're almost sounding like you're going for Ben." It's kind of how I operate when I'm doing analysis work. It's kind of how I operate when I'm betting large sums of cash on a fighter. I have to make sure that where my money is going, I could prove myself wrong. So I'll start with the path to victory for the guy I'm betting against, if this makes sense. It's a strategy that you see in defense attorneys, right? If you're defending a client, you have to, and if you believe in the defense, you have to be able to then dissect any sort of outcome, whether it's true or false. So this allows me not to be opinionated and talk trash about fighters. I'm not saying, I'm sure there's other content creators who are telling you Ben Mahoney sucks, he's garbage, all these Aussie fighters sucks. Everyone who isn't from whatever, they all suck. Yeah, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm able to compliment a guy that I'm betting against. I'm able to any fighter that I'm going to tell you who's going to lose, I'm going to compliment. It's just me being, growing up in boxing, being a boxer, having fought. I think guys who don't compliment fighters or guys who talk trash about fighters from a content creator perspective, guys who create content who call fighters bums, trash, I don't think they've ever been punched in the mouth. And I mean that, and that's not supposed to sound aggressive, because it's really hard for me to believe that if you've ever been punched in the mouth before, in an exchange, I'm not talking got sucker punched or you're out at a club and you're doing something stupid, but like in competition, if you've ever been punched in the mouth or, got your nose shattered or, had to take a knee, it's really, really hard for me to see then you being able to call any fighter a bum publicly and then predicting that, like that to me. So no, I don't think Ben has fought anyone like Nikita. I think Nikita's one of one though. I rate Nikita. I have a lot of I think Nikita could have a breakout, could be a breakout Aussie fighter. I think with Nikita's style, with his mindset, with his discipline, the division he's fighting in at 154, with proper matchmaking, I think you could take Nikita international. I think there's matchups to make internationally with some Americans, with some Brits that would be firefights, fan-friendly firefights. But I'm not saying that I would put him in there with any guy at 154. Certain guys at 154, I would say that would be a fun fight to think about. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how, if he comes out and just absolutely steamrolls, let's say that Nikita comes out and absolutely steamrolls Ben. Who would you want to see Nikita fight? I'm going to fast forward all these comments because I can't stay on too much longer. There's still over 100 of you guys in here, and we've been on for 90 minutes. What American do you guys? I'm gonna pull up the box rec 154 pound, because I know who I want Nikita to fight, but I don't want to say it because you guys will probably think I'm crazy. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the super welterweight rankings at 154 globally. Nikita's already ranked number 10 globally, which is crazy. Where's the chat at? Whoever shout out Nikita's Fawaz's. Okay. See that Nikita versus Bilal Fawaz. Bro. Nikita versus Bilal Fawaz, mate. All right, here we go. Now this is just BoxRec's rankings. I'm gonna say a name and I'm gonna say he's not ready or no. I'm not here to be delusional. Nikita versus Duran Ennis, no. Nikita versus Virgil, no. Nikita versus Sebastian Fondora, no. Nikita versus Xander Zayas, no. Nikita versus Israel Majimov, no. Nikita versus Josh Kelly, I mean, I just think that Josh would probably make Nikita look foolish on the feet, but yeah, I think Josh would be way too much for Nikita. Just what you get with Josh Kelly. Bakram Murtazayev, no. Be a crazy storyline though. Could you imagine the storyline of Nikita, the younger brother? In steps the younger brother to protect his older brother's legacy and get revenge from the dangerous, hard-hitting Bakram Murtazayev. Nikita versus Lima. Yeah, I'd see that. Nikita versus Abbas Baral. Yeah. Nikita versus Susalin. Pavel. Yep. Nikita versus Chino. See, I think Chino would give, like, the Chino versus Charles Conwell would give Nikita issues. Just, I don't know. I think Nikita may steamroll Chino. I'd have to think about that one. Now, this is the one I'm talking about. Here's the fight I want to see. I want to see Nikita versus Conwell. Bro, for me, being a Northeast Ohio boy and in Sydney, This is the fight I want to see. I know you guys will call me crazy and probably and Charles, and you guys know how I feel about Charles. Charles is my guy. Charles looked exceptional in his last fight. We know about his body punching. We know about how determined he is. But I mean, could you imagine those like fight week, the stare down? Both guys are kind of samurai like esque. Charles Conwell, mate, bad news. This dude is no bullshit, all business, super professional, Team USA, hard body punching marauder. Do you think that's too much for Nikita? Nikita versus Varane. I rate Varane, man. I think Varane might have too much seasoning for Nikita. But that would be fun. Nikita, dude, if Nikita gets through Ben and Nikita looks great, wouldn't we all agree then you take Nikita internationally? Like that kid, like how he is, like marketing wise, what he says, his fight style, I think he's a breath of fresh air, man. Nikita versus Barrios. Nikita versus Tellez. Thanks for your time, Johnny. I can tell you love what you do. Appreciate you, Jamie. Nikita versus Mendoza. Okay. Nikita versus Keith. That's interesting. Dude, Mendoza's tough, man. I mean, I don't know how much Mendoza has left in the tank. So nobody. I need somebody to comment Nikita versus Conwell. Is that too much for Nikita? Is Conwell just a step too far for Nikita Tszyu? Joshua Anton. I forgot about Anton. All right, guys. I'm going to lock it up. Best community. I always, 100% the JSB community. If you join during this live stream and you don't have access to the Discord, send me a message. The fights start in about 4 hours. Once you're in the Discord, you'll see the tabs, boxing, MMA, football, etc. And then when the fights start, you'll see a live stream button, an icon that's on, and just click that, and people will be streaming the fights. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Let's get this money. Let's do it.